everybody looking for a sweet treat that's pretty original? Well, pastry chef Barbara Mojon Gugnoni of Perfect Pastries has plenty of ways to spice up a recipe to suit any occasion. Barbara joins me here in the kitchen. This is fun. This is pretty much your specialty.
It is. Real pastry is my specialty, yes.
And is that what we're doing today? Or?
Well, we are. It's one of the forms of what you would consider real pastry.
All right, so talk to me about these scones. We're doing apricot?
Apricot, almond, mascarpone scones.
I love it.
Which is a little bit different than a normal scone recipe. It doesn't normally have a mascarpone or a cream cheese or something in that, but it just gives it a little bit more flavor, a little tang. So what we're doing is we have all-purpose flour.
Okay.
Okay. We have some sugar.
Got
not
it.
a lot. You don't add a ton of sugar, but
because
a little bit.
they're not really sweet.
They're
and
not
plus
that
you have
sweet.
the apricot too, right?
Yeah, right. And baking powder and salt.
Okay.
Okay. So you just whisk those together. Very easy. Now you're going to add butter.
Now this is chilled. Is this
chilled? This is a huge thing when making scones.
Okay.
Is everything has to be cold. If your flour's cold, that's even better.
Really?
Everything
just put it in the
cold.
fridge?
In the fridge.
Is this going in?
Yep. That's the mascarpone. That's cold too. That goes in. Now we're going to mix this in with you're going to mix this in with your
I'm
fingers.
Put these gloves on so I don't get messy here.
Exactly. And what you're trying to do is make this into sort of a crumbly mass, but you want the butter to be sort of, you spread it out with your fingers, so it's like flakes of butter.
This is like a stress reliever.
It is. It's wonderful. So you get it all mixed in, and you get it all to this sort of crumbly stage, and then you're going to add in your cold, wet ingredients. Again, everything very, very cold.
And
that
separate
keeps
the two.
everything
Sometimes
flaky.
I cheat and just do everything all at once. It doesn't really work though, does it?
It's not the best way. It can work, but it's not the best. Another tip for making scones. Scones are made with heavy cream versus like buttermilk biscuits, which are made with buttermilk. Hence the name. But if you whip the cream a little bit, you don't have to whip it like in a KitchenAid or anything like that, but you just want to incorporate a little bit of air into your cream. Again, it's going to make your scones more flaky.
Okay.
Because any air and any chilledness to your dough helps keep them flaky. So you're good.
How am I doing?
You're good. You're
That's
there.
it? I'm good.
So now we want to add our chopped apricots, which
do I keep the gloves on and mix, or do we use a spoon?
Well, no. You know what? Use your fingers. These are just dried apricots that I chopped up in the food processor with a little tiny bit of sugar to make it a little bit easier so they're not so sticky in the food processor.
Okay.
And you want them very finely diced, because if they're too big, they're going to sort of explode in your scone when they bake.
Don't want that.
You don't want that. No. So now we're going to add our wet ingredients, which is 1 egg yolk.
Okay.
Again, a little bit different for a scone. Sometimes scones don't have any egg in them at all. They don't have to, but it's something that I decided to throw in there.
Okay.
Almond extract and vanilla extract, just to give that little bit of almond flavor. And then
that smells good.
Your whipped cream. Yeah, doesn't almond extract smell
Always,
great?
right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it should be a perfume.
I would wear it. That's funny. It's so cute. We're having a little tea party here. Tea and scones.
Well, scones are English. Very, very English. You serve them at tea time. And one of the main things about perfecting how to do this, it really is just practice. That's all it is.
A little trial and error.
A little trial and error. My mom, when my father was in the Army, she knew a woman, a Southern woman, who made biscuits 3 times a day for her husband. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, he got fresh biscuits.
Wow.
That's a little too much trial and error. You don't need to do it that often. But you do it a few times, and you're going to get it down right. And so you just mix in all of your heavy cream. Now, the other thing for scones is don't mix too long. You don't want to overwork the dough, because then you're going to develop too much gluten, and then they're going to be tough.
And do you have the oven preheated, or?
The oven's preheated to 400. Well, yes, it is, except for you don't have to be preheating it yet, because what you're going to do when you make these, you're going to shape them all, and then you're going to put them in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
And so you can literally make these the night before if you want them for breakfast the next morning, pop them in the freezer, and the next morning just bake them off.
Oh, how great.
So,
what a fabulous idea.
Yeah, so you put a little bit of flour on a board or on your countertop, and you just bring the dough out, and you sort of shape it into a little log. You want to do that?
Sure. Yeah. I took my gloves off, but I'll put them right back.
Okay. And shape them into a log, and the log...
I can't promise you this is going to turn out great, but
you want me to?
Certainly give it a try.
You want me to try? Yeah. So you just, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, not really.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Now, I'm
doing a
assuming
good
you
job.
could do different flavor scones, correct?
Yes, you can do blueberry scones, lemon scones, chocolate chip scones,
that's good.
cinnamon scones, which are great for the upcoming fall.
Let you finish that.
So yeah, I also have this handy tool, so it's a little bit easier.
Okay.
You fold the dough over onto each other, and you just keep mixing it until you have the right consistency. If you had to, you add a little bit more flour as you go. And then when it's an all cohesive dough, you cut it into whatever shape you want. Over here we have triangles, we have squares. You can do round if you want. If you have a biscuit cutter and you'd rather do round. So there we go. Again, you don't want to mix it too far. You don't want to work with it too much. Sort of square up your sides a little bit.
Okay.
And we'll cut ourselves a triangle.
All right.
So you just go point to point,
And that's that, huh?
and that's that.
This wasn't too difficult.
It's really not. I mean, you'd
And they're
probably
quite
take
a
a little
treat,
bit more
right?
time than we just did, but you know.
So
And if
made
you
for
put
TV
it over
version.
here on your cookie sheet,
Okay.
now the last step is you're going to paint the top of it, and this is an egg wash of egg and heavy cream,
Okay.
and that's going to help them brown and glisten. And then we have a little bit of raw sugar here that you can sprinkle over the top. You can use raw sugar, regular sugar, granulated sugar, whatever you have
I
in
love
the house.
it. Oh, these are going to be fantastic.
And then you bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're nice and brown.
And we're going to dig in at the end of the show,
We
Barbara.
are,
Thank you so
yes.
much for being here. We'll have the recipe over at WTNH.com. Just click on style. We'll have a little tea too. It'll be fun.
It'd be great.
All right, up next, the art of nail design on wheels. We'll tell you all about mobile manicures when we get back.